Good evening and warm welcome to all participants. Today we will continue with our warehouse management process. So this is the seventh episode, being live telecast only in FB channel. So you are always welcome to type any comments required. Allow me to attach the PPT. If you have any comments, you are always welcome to comment or use the chat box in the FB. So every warehouse process is very important to understand. In fact, all this session is going to help you to learn the high level processes. Especially, I am looking for training at the executive level, whether you are in junior, mid, or senior level. As we are going to see this process in detail, and also what is the global benchmarking. Possibly this type of session will help you in attending any interview or perform better in your job profile. So briefly, once again, to introduce, my name is Pattabhiraman. This is my Udemy profile. I have nearly 3,000 candidates enrolled for various programs, and this is my LinkedIn profile. You're always welcome to connect with me, or you can follow me. As you see below my name, I have various certification. If you are in the job market, you need to Google up and find which is relevant to you, and you can also check, put it in the job portal and see which kind of supply, when employers are looking for this kind of certification, that will give an idea to you. So let us jump into the program today. Our We are going to see the replenishment, how frequently the replenishment is required in a warehouse, and this is one of the important process in the warehouse, because this is required to ensure timely dispatch to the customer, and always the item should be available in the location when the order is received. So it is to ensure smooth and efficient picking process. We need to ensure that the right product and quantities are in the right location. These are part of our 7 or in the supply chain and logistic. And of course, poor replenishment results in order shortage, increased pick time, increased cost per pick, and hence reduction in service level. Of course, when the part is not available, it results in stock out, or in some cases it can also lead to production shutdown, which we have to avoid. Coming to timing is very crucial. An early instruction to replenish can cause many problem as a late replenishment, with the potentially over full pick paces and issue with before. So the timing is very important. Many time delivering in advance is also not preferable in supply chain, because we plan everything based on the system set lead time. If somebody is delivering early, can lead to lot of problem, because space may not be available. Through picking, though picking and replenishment can occur simultaneously, there are issues related to worker safety. So everything has to be scheduled. Okay, the picking, replenishment has to be scheduled. If you are preparing to do both the things time simultaneously, you should have sufficient place or the pick paces, so that you do not have the problem in that process. So there are value added services, especially in the warehouses specific to e-commerce platform, where the kind of activity like labeling or relabeling is done. Pricing, stickering, pricing also related to labeling. Here we are not deciding the pricing exactly. Then tagging and kimballing. Kimballing is a process in textile industry. Then we also do packing or repacking, bundling, reconfiguration, subassembly. So if you are looking for a warehouse kind of a job, possibly you should have knowledge in all this process. It's not only receiving and dispatching the items anymore. So you need to add value to the products which are being received. And these are the process, especially in the e-commerce environment, you should be in a position to do all this kind of process. If you are in the written environment, then repair and refurbishment will also add to the process. So some knowledge on each of this process will be beneficial to you. Coming to why we need all this value addition in the warehouse, means we are looking for some process called postponement. This helps in configuring the product only after receiving the final order from the customer. Here we are trying to do something like assemble to order or package to order or finish to order kind of environment, which is always better in inventory management. You can with the lower inventory. That's where postponement is a important process in the warehouse. It is a delay in completion of item until an actual order is received. Reduces inventory holding by reducing the total number of SKUs. Okay, ultimately, by doing postponement, you are going to improve the customer service by providing variety to the customer. But for the organization, you are also going to optimize the inventory. There are also a lot of indirect activity in warehouse, which warehouse executive or the manager should take care, like ensuring optimum staffing level, optimum space utilization, identification of slow moving and obsolete items. All this requires some amount of a managerial as well as analytical skill. When it comes to stock management, inventory or stock management and warehouse management tend to be two very distinct role, but has to be managed together. Warehouse executive can advise their inventory colleagues on levels of safety stock, specific movement, etc. But in the large organization, it may be possible that there are two different kinds of people who are handling inventory separately and warehouse management separately. But in medium or other organization, the warehouse inventory manager can handle both. But in any case, whether it is small or big, there are some specific responsibility for warehouse manager, like maintaining inventory physical accuracy. Okay. So also the warehouse manager can play a role in identification of FSN. We will see in one of our session, fast moving, medium moving, and slow moving, and also inform that to a inventory management professional, so that such item can be controlled by using the ABC. Is also a way of managing inventory. A is a fast moving item. The goal is to identify C category and act accordingly. Possibly C here we are referring to slow moving or non moving or obsolete item. There are various ways this item can be handled. For example, return to seller if the contract allows, sell to a staff at a discount, assess whether is it cost effective to break the item down to its constituent parts, maybe for recycling or reusing the pot, donate to charity or dispose can be the final choice. Why warehouse manager has to do is he has to keep the item inventory clean, in the sense the slow moving item should be periodically removed to make way for the other item. Especially there should be a regular space for fast moving and medium moving item. And it's also one of the responsibility of warehouse manager. As you can see, when you do this FSN analysis, or sometimes we call this as ABC classification, but here A is representing fast moving, B is medium moving, like that. Possibly this can give some idea, like fast moving can be around 20% and medium moving item can be 35%, whereas other category of slow moving item can contribute to 45%. This is going to occupy the premium warehouse space, so you need to check the or control the incoming of this item, or even disposing of this item suitable. Timely action has to be taken. There is one important metric for inventory, guys, is the inventory turnover. Of course, this is not a very easy task. We use it by using the parameter or the formula COGS by average inventory. COGS is nothing but cost of goods sold divided by average inventory. Possibly you may have data with respect to average inventory. If you take the data for last several months, you will get the average inventory. But COGS is a cost of goods sold, which you can take it from your finance team, who may readily have it. And inventory turnover is one of the metric for controlling the inventory. Though this may not be the responsibility for all warehouse executives, but having a knowledge of inventory turnover will really help the people. But on the other hand, the important responsibility for warehouse professional is to maintain the stock integrity. Okay, it's a physical stock accuracy we are discussing here, meaning that system and physical stock should manage. There could be a lot of slip, there could be a lot of reasons why it is not matching with the system stock. So periodically we need to check by using the inventory counting. Either we can do it by two methods. One is periodic, which is usually annual counting, or a cycle counting or perpetual counting, which means on a daily or weekly basis you are going to count the component. And of course this is very important if you need to maintain high level of accuracy. Once again, for cycle counting, we need to classify this item in a different way. ABC category. Here, A category refers to high value, and B is moderate value, and C could be less value. So there could be mispicks are more likely with fast moving goods, and high value items are prone for shrinkage for whatever may be the reason. We can see the reasons also in the coming slides. Fast moving and high value item should be counted more frequently, possibly monthly, and medium and slow moving not in a monthly frequency. Depending upon the value of the item and consumption level, these item frequency, counting frequency can be fixed based on that. Accuracy of counts will also determine the frequency. A high error rate should result in more frequent counts until the accuracy improves. This is where you need people who have some experience about this counting procedure, and they should also know to trace back if there is any error, find out the root cause, and correct the stock. Correct counting process, either annual or cycle counting, requires organizing the process. You need the proper tools, equipment, labor, and the time skill. Before starting the count, all item must be put away. Dispatch as many item possible. Obsolete item must be disposed of. Especially these activity will come into picture when we are doing annual counting. Staff unfamiliar with the products are involved and done during holidays and weekend, which is not okay. Maybe in the earlier time we used to do this kind of periodic counting. What is prepared now is a cycle counting. Okay, completion on time is rarely a case, as the number of discrepancy may take days to resolve. As a result, operation resume so as not to let customer down, but this tend to compound the problem. These are the typical scenarios when you do only once in 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. So this is where the cycle counting is prepared. But some people, if they feel the stock accuracy is not so much relevant or required in their kind of process, this should be fine. But if you are having more SKUs, especially if your customer service level is high, then you need to go for the cycle counting. The likelihood of finding the reasons for discrepancy are low in the annual counting, because this transaction have passed through the warehouse since the last count. The root cause is seldom discovered and a result cannot be eliminated. There are many reasons why there should be a mismatch, possibly a product in incorrect locations, system entry not completed, too many items of one product and too few of another product. These things can cause a lot of confusions. Of course, security is also important wherever you are there. Not only in India, the pilferage is causing high inventory inaccuracy. So, warehouse manager is responsible for the integrity of all the product. CCTV at strategic points may be required. The supervisors or managers have to make unannounced inspection and walkabouts are much effective and much cheaper, because finally these executives are responsible to ensure that the system and physical match happens. Separate loading bays from employees parking areas. These are some suggestions, but you have to identify in your work area where these things can happen and tighten the required security. Protecting data is also very important. Core attributes of security could be appropriate recording of inbound and outbound products, authorization for all dispatches, accurate audit trials, regular stock check, use of appropriate storage equipment. As we have seen in our last session, there are some storage mechanisms are available. For example, a horizontal or vertical carousel, where the product can be stored in a highly secured environment, especially for high value item can be stored in such environment. And vigilance is also very important, as one of the important process is also returns processing or reverse logistic, handling product return, transit packaging, and surplus item. So there are various processes in waste hierarchy. Maybe in order of preference, either you should reuse the item or recycle or recover. Product recalls also yeah, plays a significant role, and which has to be handled very carefully. Other returns include reusable packaging such as barrel, kegs, pins, trays, totes, and pallets. And in your warehouse design, you should also have a place if these kind of items are being returned. And you should also set a process for this reverse logistic, how you are going to accept this return item, what is the inspection procedure, and how you are going to take back them into the regular store. Okay, so data collection for the reverse logistic is very important. Percentage and value of the goods returned directly to the stock and to the vendor. In the e-commerce platform, as high as 30% products are returned for various reasons. So you need to have a proper procedure, and you need to have analysis like percentage of refurbished and returned to stock, percentage dismantled and used as a spare, percentage returned due to manufacturing defect. And there are some suggested best practices in return management, like decision making process before product is physically returned. Normally you can see that in e-commerce platform, it was much easier to return earlier. Now there is some tightening happens, like you have to take a pre-approval before returning happens, by use of authorization notes, training of employees. Possibly you should have a proper IT tool to monitor and evaluate the returns. Before any dispatch can happen, packing should be made. So packing is also one of the important role for warehouse executive. Of course, we have seen some of the aspect in our various session. So items should be checked before packing to measure the accuracy of packers. Picking team constantly achieving 99.9 and above accuracy requires minimum or random checking. Physically weigh and check against a system generated weight. These are some few suggestions to check that our inventory accuracy levels are maintained, because there is a trade-off between cost of operators who are checking and overall cost of mispicks. Okay, there should be a balance on this. As we have seen in the previous episodes, you can pack the item either in cartons or pallet or even the wooden boxes. Full carton dispatch is somewhat easier to manage. If palletized, how to stabilize the cotton on the pallet, maybe a stretch wrap can be a solution to that. Use of return packaging is growing because of sustainability concern and environmental reasons. The loading, efficient loading of containers and trailers is important to save the transportation cost. Even after doing consolidation, if you are not effectively using the storage area inside the vehicle, then we are going to waste the transportation miles. Unused space is always inefficient and cost a company a great deal. Pallet load need to be configured to ensure that the product damage is minimized, cubic capacity is fully utilized, load stability is ensured, and the configuration is acceptable at the receiving location. Of course, some software tools available if you are in a position to capture all your outgoing products, like depending on the customer order type, quantity, and your package proposal. You can also schedule or map the loading position inside a container. Like this, you can see the image, but may not be suitable in all cases, because uh, you need to capture all this data much earlier. And if your customer quantity is varying frequently, then it's very difficult to do it. Coming to the actual shipping, most of the time we will be shipping it in container or the trucks. Possibly we were also using this kind of a floor layout matching to the size of the container, and try to load in that place as you are going to try to load in the actual vehicle or the container. So nowadays you have popularity of next day delivery, sufficient space for staging, last delivery to be loaded first, grids marked on the warehouse floor like you see in the image to replicate the floor area of the largest vehicle. One more important activity for the warehouse executive is to ensure that correct documents are provided with the vehicles, compliance with the customer requirement and government legislation. Export paperwork is critical because there are a lot of specific documents are required. For example, apart from invoice packing list, maybe the certificate of country of origin or export declaration and other document may become important. You can see some of the documentation like ASN is an advanced shipping notice, manifest, shipping label, bill of lading, specifically in the sea transport, invoice, packing list, certification of origin. Though this looks like a activity for a logistic guy, but many times this is also prepared by warehouse executives. Okay, finally coming to the dispatch, order cycle time, lead time is continuously decreasing. Product must be dispatched on time and complete. So entire coordination with the logistic team and the vehicles should be done on a timely manner. So one more question arises: what is the role of driver while loading the vehicle? There are company as well as third party drivers are available. There is always a dilemma of what to do while loading. Is it only related to acknowledgement? It all depends upon the contract with the service provider. And if you want to engage the driver for loading or unloading or any documentation work, there should be a clear contract available. Now, coming to the end of this program, you see this is being done in various episodes. If you watch all the episodes, you will get some knowledge about all the inventory management and warehousing process. Of course, there is also a possibility of getting the certificate for the program once you finish watching all the videos, and you may have to take a online multiple choice question. But first thing is you have to subscribe to our channel, watch all the videos, like and comment all the videos. We will provide the e-certificate. Of course, this may be possible at a very nominal price. If you need more detail, you can reach to us either by chatting in the WhatsApp, even if you are watching offline. If you have any questions regarding our this particular program or any other supply chain training program, you are always welcome to reach us through our website, or the contact detail numbers are provided here. As you see in the screen, we have two globally recognized training program. One is supply chain analytics, which is very important in the today's current job market, where employers are looking for two important skill. One is supply chain analytical skill, and another one is a globally recognized certification like APICS. We provide both training and mock test for this kind of program. If you have any doubts or clarification, you are always welcome to reach to us. Meanwhile, those who are watching live, you can type any queries in the chat box on the watch Facebook. So it's very important for the guys who are in the job market, looking for a job in any supply chain domain. Having a knowledge of warehousing and inventory process helps in answering the question in interview, apart from getting the job, and also helpful in improving the performance in your workplace. If you have any question, you are welcome to comment in the Facebook, or you are welcome to reach to me or our executive. Thanks for watching. Bye.